Okay, we'll get started. So, hello everyone, you're very welcome to November's webinar. This one is going to be on selective dry cow therapy. So my name is Katie Shanahan, and I'm joined by James Greevy, who's the head of product, and in the background there we have Dara O'Brien, who will be answering any questions you may have. So if you do have any questions, you can pop them into the Q&A box and Dara will work away and try to get through them all. If we don't answer your question tonight, all the questions will be sent across to the customer support team tomorrow, who will get back to you on those. So what we'll be doing tonight, over the next hopefully 30 to 45 minutes, we'll try and keep it nice and sweet. So we have when and how to dry off cows. We have key hygiene steps and how to record treatments correctly. We'll have a live demo from James within the Herdwatch app, and then we'll have a Q&A session. We'll answer some of the questions live as well. So if you have any questions, you can be popping them in straight away. You don't have to wait until the very end. So Herdwatch story to date. So since Herdwatch launched in 2014, we've been helping over 20,000 members with their herd performance and farm compliance. So we have over 4 million cattle in the Herdwatch app, over 1.7 million sheep in Herdwatch, and over 800,000 acres mapped out in the Herdwatch app. So we have 4 solutions and 1 app. So Herdwatch offers 4 solutions in the one platform for farmers looking to optimize their herd, flock, and pasture management. Cattle by Herdwatch, Dairy by Herdwatch, and Sheep by Herdwatch help farmers achieve herd goals through data-backed management decisions. Pasture by Herdwatch assists farmers with grazing and pasture management. So new features that have been brought out in the last 12 months. So we have our crush side, which we would have gone through in previous webinars, and it would have been on display at the ploughing as well, along with Herdy, our new AI software within the app. We also would have gone through that a lot at the ploughing, and that was kind of the main launch at the ploughing championships. We have the web app, which is basically just a big, large screen version on your laptop. Some people like to, it's handy to have the phone outside in the yard, but some people like to come in the evenings and have a look at it on the bigger screen. So we have that mart and factory link. We have turbo mode, nitrates calculator, scanning, tagging, lambing insights, BCS, flock register and reports. And we have grazing management and PBI integration. So there's always a lot coming out, and sometimes people forget, that there's constantly things coming out every month or every couple of months. So it's good to, have a look through the app and even hear what's new. Some things would be very relatable to you, maybe more things than others. So I am now going to pass you over to James. James is going to do the demo of the app. If you have any questions, like I said, and you see something while James is doing his demo, do pop it into that Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and we'll try and answer them live as well, so he can actually show you the answers that you'll be looking for. So thanks very much, James.
Thank you, Katie. Good evening, everyone. So what I'm going to do is walk you through how to use Herdwatch to both record your dry offs, but also help manage your dry cow management, and ultimately try and use selective dry cow therapy where appropriate. I suppose that's one of the big changes that's been implemented in Ireland, and I believe in the UK as well, in that you need to have a number of milk recordings done this year, as well as a milk culture and sensitivity test to make sure that you're actually using antibiotics appropriately for how you dry off your cows, and trying to use selective dry cow therapy, which is ultimately where you avoid using antibiotic treatments for cows that potentially don't need it, and then targeting cows with antibiotics that will need it to prevent infections in previous years. So quickly, I suppose this is a Herdwatch home screen, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. This one actually you might not be familiar with. It's the upcoming slightly reorganized home screen, so a bit of a sneak peek here. So first, I suppose what's different here with this is we're going to go look at our data first of all before we actually record something. So within the dairy section here, we've got our dry off management section. So we've got our bulk collections where we link to your dairy processor, whether it's Kerry, Revo, Tirlon, Lakeland, NML, others, milk recording, where you can integrate Herdwatch with your milk recording data, whether that's ICBF in Ireland, takes in Progressive and Munster. And then in the UK, we have CIS, NMR, and QMS. And that'll be very important in a second, having your milk recording data in here combined with your treatment data and your breeding data to understand how to dry out your cows and what order. So I'll just drill into dry cow management. And the first thing you'll see here is a little overview of total number of cows that you had in milk for that year, my average herd somatic cell count for the last milk recording. So I can see it wasn't too bad. I was running 131, showing the number of cows that are currently suitable for selective dry cow therapy. But that's based on the user settings that you've picked. And these, we've built out a selective dry cow management, I suppose, algorithm with Animal Health Ireland, and I can talk you through the characteristics of how it picks the ones that are suitable based on that data, but then you can actually use your own judgment as well. And I'll just talk you through that. The number of cows that are currently due to dry and the number of cows that have been dried so far this year, how many milk recordings have been done this year to date, and how many dry up tasks have been recorded. So my last recording here was on the 19th of October, and I set my selective dry cow therapy threshold as less than 100. And what this will do is it will look firstly at, do I have any group somatic cell counts above 100? And if I do, it'll actually dismiss all of them. But if I don't, it'll then look at how many cows there are then beneath the 100 threshold as well. So what I'll do is I'll just drill into the number of cows that are currently due to dry. And what this does is it gives you a grid view of all your animals that are currently due to dry. So 38 of the 45 that haven't been dried off yet. And it orders them by a number of key criteria. So you can see if they've been suitable for selective dry cow therapy based on my criteria. So there's none of them here. Current status, they're all to dry. They're due to dry by dry date. Now these top three here unfortunately didn't go back and calf, which is why they don't have a dry off date. So I can choose to milk them on for as long as I want. And then I can see the next few that are due down here in descending order. So the next few are due on the 11th of December. When their expected calving date is, so they're 96 days away. Their latest somatic cell count, and I suppose importantly, their highest somatic cell count for the lactation to date. So ultimately, it's about avoiding using antibiotics in your cows that have this cow here that had a 40. Her highest somatic cell count was 40. Another thing we do is we try to take in all the different pieces of information you've recorded over the course of the year. So we actually create a count of the total number of cases of mastitis every cow has had. So you can see cow 203 here had 8 cases of mastitis this year. So she's a real problem cow. So she's absolutely going to get antibiotics. And in the case of this cow, she's actually had the problem quarter has already been dried off because it just kept getting repeat mastitis. What lactation she's in, her last calving date, last dry off date, current milk yield, protein. So every piece of data that you want to try and actually make a decision on that. So what I want to show you here quickly is how to create a group that I'm going to use to dry my cows off, use a non-antibiotic treatment. So I can go here and I can actually just create a filter on those things, and I'm just going to filter on any cows that have a somatic cell count less than 50. That filters that list down to 13 animals. So I can see there's 13 animals within that I'm interested in doing. So I'm going to actually put all them in a group here that I'm going to, so I know for when I go into the parlor next time. So I'm going to select those animals, and I'm going to create a group. They're the 13 there, so I'm just going to grab them, put them all there, and save them. So that's one of the basically have those animals saved there. And the beauty of this is that I can actually save it while I'm here and sit in front of the laptop, and then when I go back into the parlor at the weekend when I plan to dry them off, I can actually have access to that list. So that's just one handy way of like creating a quick list using all the data you have there together and using it to record something. So the next thing is I might actually go and dry some cows off. So what this does then actually just briefly go over it is it looks at your breeding data. So then that will tell you when cows are going to calf. There's 2 pieces of information it looks at. So depending if it's a cow or a heifer, there's a setting in Herdwatch that will allow you to pick the number of days you want to dry off. So for heifers, it's automatically set to 80 days from our next calving date, and for cows, it's automatically set to 60 days. But you can change that quite easily. So that's that piece. So then if I want to go and actually record some dry offs, so I might just pick all the cows that are due to dry in the next month, or due to dry next month, and I'll decide to dry them off now. So I can go there, find their next dry off date. Or I should say their expected calving date. So any cows that are calving in next March. 6 by Paddy's Day. Take all them. There's 12 animals there. So I'm going to grab all those 12 animals. So hit my orange plus button. And you've got this thing here which basically allows you to grab any animals on a list. And this works everywhere across the whole Herdwatch app. So if you're on a list or a single animal, you can grab them, put them into treatment. I'm going to record a cattle treatment for them because I'm giving them both chews and dry out tubes and seeders. Go to my medicine cabinet here. And find my Kepler dry cow chews and my Kepler lock seeders. I've already added them to my cabinet. I go next here. So I'm going to dry them off actually at the weekend. And so I'm going to create that as to do. I know I'm giving 4 tubes per cow. And the treatment reason has already been picked here as dry off because I recorded that when it was in my cabinet. But you notice here when you record a dry off treatment, there's a new column or new option where you pick the type of dry cow treatment it was. So in this case, it's a dry cow tube and seeder. But if I was doing selective treatment, I might only do a sealer only, so I didn't feel the need to use antibiotics, and I can record that. So that's there for your records. But also in Ireland, we send that information to ICBF, so that feeds into your Animal Health Ireland, I can't think of the name of the program, but basically the dry cow management program. So then that's there as proof of you're actually trying to use antibiotics responsibly. And you can see here, I've got my withdrawal dates in it. I've got my meat and my milk already recorded. If I had any other treatment reasons, I can record it there. That's all good. And then it's telling me that's in a future date, so I'm just going to save it as to do. And I plan to do it right now. That's let me know it's prescription medicine. Because I recorded 2 treatments at one time, it's asking me to want to copy all this stuff over across, which I do. And I've got my 4 doses per annum tubes. All this information is copied across from my Kepler lock. So I can see nothing to do here. That again remind me that it's a to-do task. I've got my 12 animals here selected that I picked there. Now, one handy little thing is, I don't know if you guys have seen it before, is actually the labels. So I just put a tag in the animal, so it's giving me a little bit of information. So she actually has a dead bolus in her, which I need to deal with. This cow actually got no multimin when I was giving it at the time I ran out for her. So little labels that show you a piece of extra information. And then I might decide actually, here you can see this is a list of all the cows that are currently due to dry off. So I can see she's 96 days away from calving, 99. Actually, I might decide that anything over 100 days, I actually don't want to dry off. So I'll try and pull them down, or I'll go 8 because that's a full row of cows there. So it shows it here when the cow is due to dry off, how many days away it is. So that's a little extra piece of information that you can then use to dry off for cows, or pick which cows you want to dry off. I hit save. And it's let me know that I actually had it. I have 68 animals, but I have only enough left for 3 in my cabinet. So do I want to continue? So I'll just ignore that and continue there. And that's that record save. So what will happen is that information will then go save. That cow will get dried off in Herdwatch. So it'll go from your lactating list to your dry cow list. That information then will get sent to ICBF in Ireland. But in the UK, when you do your next milk recording, your milk extract file will also be updated. So your milk recordings in the UK that'll be fed into it as well. So your 305 day yields and your actual yields today will all be accurate too when you do your next milk recording based on all those things. So what it really does is it ties all your information together for that year and makes it, I suppose, nice and neat in terms of how you record everything. And ultimately, it enables you to use antibiotics, I suppose, in the most responsible fashion. So that's kind of a quick overview of that. Is there any questions on that side of things?
There's a few coming in. Yeah, before I start them, just guys, if you want James to show you how to do a specific thing or ask any sort of a question, now's your chance to do it because we'll answer live. But James, just are these records sent to ICBF?
Yes. So they're sent to ICBF automatically. Sorry, they're sent to ICBF. There's been a slight change this year in how ICBF receives information. So if you can get your milk recording data back down from ICBF, it means you're already linked there. But some farmers mightn't have that. So there's a thing you need to do if you actually haven't already been linked. So I should show you how to check that. Once you are linked, it will go automatically. So I go here to my settings and I scroll down and it'll show me last sync with ICBF. So that says connected. So I am connected. So all that data will flow to them. And then just to touch on the UK side of things as well, we don't send information live to any of the milk recording organizations. But when you run a milk extract file, which basically is the file that your milk recorder requires before you do milk recording, that file will be updated with the latest dry off information for those cows. So it will see when they upload it to their software, they'll see this cow is dry off in this date, which then gives you accurate milk production figures for that year.
Perfect. Then just the data that you're looking at there, I know we had a brief conversation, but you were saying that you need to do, what was it,
4 milk recordings in a year.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually, I'll just go into the settings here again and just show you what I was referring to on the dry off management. So if I go to the watchboard here, so these are the reminder days. So there's reminder days, 80 days for cows and heifers I picked. So once cows or heifers are 80 days from calving, they'll actually appear in my list of cows due to dry off on my watchboard, and also appear as due to dry off in that table I showed you guys as well. And if I want to update and say, actually, I want to give the cows an extra rest and the heifers an even bigger rest, I can save that, and then that will quickly change that then. So it's all kind of we've picked kind of average figures, but it's up to each farmer to decide what's the best way to use the data to manage their cows. What I might just quickly do here is I'll just switch over into it because I'm on the PC into our web app version. So just show you. So this is the web app. Hopefully most of you guys are familiar with it by now. So it's Katie referred to earlier on. It's our I suppose our desktop version really. And if the mobile app is about recording data, the desktop version is about using and interacting with your data. So one thing that's quite handy is you can grab this table view of all your animals, and you can pull in any information here that might be helpful to make a decision. I can add in lots of information around EBIs, around somatic cell count, production, fat, whatever I want to add on here, and I can see it in a table. I can create reports. I can order height and low, and then I can go and actually export that as a PDF or CSV. So some people like to basically export a PDF of a list of animals printed out and just go scribble on it because sometimes it just suits people better. And if you want to do that, the best place to do it is actually from the web app here.
Brilliant. Just a question in there, if you would mind showing again briefly, I know you went through it already, about finding the most suitable cows for selective dry off if they have done their milk recordings throughout the year.
Yeah, so what I'll just do is I go to my dairy section here. So just, I suppose, I'm navigating from the web app now. So it's the exact same thing. And the web app follows the same structure as the mobile app. I just go to my dairy section, go to my dry off management here. So I can still see here is a slightly more blown up view of what we already looked at. I don't see my cows due to dry. Now you notice those 8 cows have actually come off because I've already marked them dry, so that's reduced down straight away. And this is based on this here. So if I want to pick my own criteria, so first and foremost, making sure that actually I want the highest somatic cell count they've had to be less than 100. So that'll show me everything under 100. So if 18 animals under 100, and actually I might want to go lower again, 75, and make sure there's no cases of mastitis. So 3 cases there. So just from 2, 0 to 1, probably better. That's actually gonna just sort. That's like I've only one cow here that actually had low somehow she managed to have a very low salicylic count and still have 3 cases of mastitis over the year as a heifer. So you can see that there as well. You can see lactation too. So you got all this information here. And I've got my filtered list here. And the same as before, I've got my filtered list. I hit my orange plus button. I can grab those animals and I can create them into a group. I can add them to a new group. I can start recording a treat from here. So there's lots of things I can do there, which is quite handy. Or I can download that list and export it to a PDF or a CSV as well if I want to. And if for whatever reason there isn't enough information within that list, you can actually, or it's too much, you can actually deselect some columns as well. So I think the tag is not important. These pieces of information aren't important here. I can knock all them off and just make it a little bit more concise as well. Another important thing as well is I can actually move these around. So if this is the most important piece of information here, I can show it at the front. So there's a lot of customization in terms of how you can interact with your farm data. And probably I'd be remiss not to mention Herdy. So Herdy is our AI agent that lets you talk to your data. So you can see there's a huge amount of data here being captured by farmers between the medicine recording, between the milk recording, the breeding records, and it's a lot of information to pull together and make sense of. And the point of Herdy here is I can ask it plain language questions of my data. So I might say, I'm going to do a live demo, which is never a good idea. But the point of it is, I'm going to ask it, say, how many cows do I have with an SEC of less than 100? I didn't even phrase it right here. I forgot what cows in the query, so let's see if it'll cover my grammatical
How many
mistakes.
what?
But the point of Herdy, and Herdy is still quite new as a product, it's to let you ask more complicated questions of your data in the same way if it's a vet in the yard and you were asking, okay, well, what should I, give me a list of all my cows that have this symptoms or no symptoms, and just basically be able to give that back to you in a way that's actually easy to understand. So tell me 33 animals of less with an SEC of less than 100, which I think is probably right. But you can ask more and more complex questions. And that's the point of it, is rather than you have to spend time filtering and making sense of it. And you can do that from the mobile phone as well. So something that I do is quite handy is I'll open Herdy on my mobile phone and I'll hit the speech button on my keypad and I'll just ask a question and it types it in. So that's very handy.
Yeah, it's handy to be able to talk it, because sometimes having the time to even type out the question.
Yeah. And you've wet, dirty hands, it's not ideal
Yeah.
always.
And I suppose it's great as well because it's actually looking at information that's in your Herdwatch app. It's not just like you're Googling, Google doesn't know your herd or anything. So that's the kind of another bonus of it.
And it's the best of both worlds in that it's looking at your herd information, but also it can Google stuff as well. So it also looks
Yeah,
at a lot of different like key sites too as well. So it can get the latest information on that stuff.
that's great.
Any other
But
questions?
no, if anyone has any other question or want to see how something is done, do let us know in that Q&A box. Otherwise, like, you can get in touch, and there's a customer support team there that's there Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. If you want to figure out how to do something over the phone, they can guide you through it. There's no problem there ringing in and having a chat with the team, and booking in for demos and different things, because it's a great idea just to get these demos and make use of the team that's there, because that's how you learn. So even if you're planning on doing it now, shortly, do get in touch and they can help you get set up, even creating those groups and things for it. So it's a good one.
I see one of the questions in there about freeze brands. So my cows actually don't have freeze brands, which is why there's no column here showing up by freeze brand. But if you had freeze brands, you could select and buy that too as well. So you can just add any column here that is relevant for the animal. So these are just a piece of data that I actually have available to my animals. but I suppose I'd advise any of you guys who haven't used the web app yet, because it's still quite new. It's a great way of actually sitting down and actually trying to understand all your herd data and pull it in, and just try and, I suppose, make sense and pull this together. You can base every data point that exists for the animal, or almost all of them, I think, at this point. You can then add into your own, make your own custom reports. You can see here everything that you can add for an animal. There's a lot of information you can pull in together, because every farmer will have slightly different requirements and will think of things slightly differently. And that's what we try to do with the web app in particular, is give it the flexibility for you to sit down and say, actually, well, I want to look at the world this way, or this particular type of cows that doesn't fit within whatever system, and lets you kind of bring that together. And that then combined with Herdy allows you to actually do some pretty advanced sort of analysis of whatever it is you need to do.
James, you might go through there again, just quickly, the best way and the fastest way to record a dry off. It's just a kind of a question that came in there.
Yeah. The fastest way to record Anton is always hit your orange plus button. You have a range of options here, so I can see my cattle treatment. So a dry off is ultimately a treatment, unless it's more a case in certain farmers where you might just be basically taking the calf away, that you're not actually using any medicine. But say I've got my medicine cabinet here. Now you can go from treatment only. So some farmers don't really use the medicine cabinet functionality, and this basically allows you to pick a medicine without tying it back to the cabinet. So in this case, I'll just use my medicine cabinet here because I have it. So I've got well, actually I don't, as it turns out, because as I mentioned in the last pop-up, I used the medicines that were in my cabinet, so actually I overused them, so they're gone. So I have to go back a step to actually go treatment only here. So if I just pick my, say, Keppelvin, and I can search here on this, so I use Kepperlock and then Keppelvin Dry Cow. So now on the mobile app as well, there's a scanner functionality where you can scan either the barcode or the QR code, and that will select the medicine as well. But as I'm on the web app here, I can't use a scanner in this. So I pick two medicines because I'm doing a dry off and a sealer and an antibiotic. It's asked me, do I want to copy the information I used the last time from the last purchase? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say I bought it today, used it today. So you notice actually the layout of the screen is a little bit different. So the layout of the screen is actually just designed for sitting from a PC. So the data minister was today, treatment course is one day. Now, if it's a dose of antibiotic, you can set that for multiple days. Who administered it? Myself. It's picked me as default. Treatment reasons dry off, and as I mentioned, you see this treatment reason type is here. So it's a tube and sealer. I'm on the Kepperlock, so the zero minute withdrawal. So fine, I can enter another piece of information here. So batch number, treatment results. I can actually record legs and images if I want to. Go next here. Ask me to say in here, do I want to copy that information over? I'm going to say yes. And you can see again, it's all this stuff pre-filled out. So dose per animal actually it hasn't. So I'm going to use 4 tubes per cow. It's copied over the dry cow. I know it's a tube and sealer. It's copied that. It's got my meat and my milk withdrawal in here automatically pre-filled. Go next. And if in the parlor, I want to pick my cows, so I can see what it's showing me here is this list is actually a pre-filtered list of cows that haven't been dried off yet. So I want to dry off this cow and this cow here. And I just hit save, and that'll save it. And that's as quick and easy as it is. No, I'm not going to.
And you can search them as well, yeah, if they're coming in and you're doing it as you're going.
So I can do 1317, and I can search on. If I had a freeze brand, I can search in the freeze brand. You can also search in a pedigree name as well. Essentially, any ID that you use to manage your cows and Herdwatch, you can search on.
And then down the bottom there, you can see how many he's selected down the bottom left corner.
And I can go in here and say, actually, I didn't dry that one off. I can deselect it there very easily too as well.
Yeah.
I just hit save. That's all relatively straightforward too. I suppose with Anton and Herdwatch, you kind of just have to start using it. Once you do it once, it gets very easy. It gets easier and easier. It's just like building a habit
up. Just someone asked there, I think I'll say it live, that how do you get this desktop version? It's actually just as simple as going onto our Herdwatch website. So into Google Herdwatch, open the website, and you'll see login on the top corner of the website, and you just log in as normal, and it brings you to your desktop app. So you don't have to download anything or anything like that. It's just as simple as logging in from the website. So very easy to get to.
I see there's a question here about how you connect to Tirlon. So, okay, it's worth showing this. If you have any user-related questions, there's this help button here. What this does is actually it'll open up like basically all your chats. So you can do two few things with us. You can actually just talk to us directly here to send us a message, and it's sort of it's a way how we use Spore. But also you can actually go and you can search for articles. So we have basically built help articles and support articles on every feature within Herdwatch. So if I want to learn how to connect to Tirlon or other suppliers, I can see here I've got an article here linking up to Tirlon. So I click on that, and it'll actually walk me through it here. So it'll tell you how it works, what it does. Basically, you can go here to go to the dairy performance screen, select your bulk tank collections, connect to your dairy processor. There's a button there. It'll ask you for some information. So it'll ask you your Tirlon login details. That'll then give us permission to access that file, and then it'll start running automatically. So that's how it works. Now, we don't connect with all milk suppliers just yet, but they're broadening out more and more. If you have any, when you go to connect, and if you connect with your milk processor, see they're not there, you just drop us a message and say, look, I want to connect to whatever processor. And what we'll do is try and work with you, try and get in contact with them. So we're working through them one by one, and we have a large number already connected. But it's I suppose our goal is to try and connect up with every system that you can to try and bring all your data in one place and try and make as good a decisions as you can for your farm. And sort of suppose with that as well, one of the things that's ongoing is we're currently connecting with the heat and health monitoring systems. So we're connecting with a number of systems. So we're working with connecting with SenseHub, SmackSec, NeedApp, Cow Manager Data Mars we're looking at as well. We've also connected with a number of the dairy parlor software too, and they're still quite in early stages, but we have a number of systems linked up. So we're connected with the Delaval, Gia, Dairy Master, Pearson system, Keto, so we're connecting with more and more on-farm systems to try and pull all your data into one place and give you kind of a single view of all your animal information. But I suppose also importantly that trying to eliminate you from having to double record information. So if you're recording a calving event in Herdwatch, that'll automatically update your heat and health monitoring system as well as your dairy power software, and it all just talks in the background without you having to double and triple enter data. That's a big focus for us coming into 2026. So we haven't covered off, Katie.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any more there now coming in. That was a great demo. Thanks very much, James.
Thank you, Katie.
You can stop sharing there, and I'll just finish up here very quickly. So again, guys, if there's something that we didn't cover that you would love to be covered, just do get in touch. I'll show you there quickly now how the fastest way to get in touch with everybody on the team. So can you see my screen there, James?
Yep.
So yeah.
Actually, sorry, it's black now. I thought it was starting to share. You might need to reshare it.
2 seconds there. Can you see it now?
Yep.
And now? Still?
Yep.
Okay, great. So yeah, loads of ways to get in touch with us. If you're just looking for, information, maybe some tutorials, help articles, things like that, go to our website. It's the best place, herdwatch.com. So it's the go-to hub for everything Herdwatch. Explore detailed information on solutions, read blogs, and dive into real-life case studies and much more. So it is a great spot there. You can see the help articles, which guide you through different areas within the app. And it has, images, videos, things like that. So do make use of that. Within the app itself, in the Herdwatch app on your phone or wherever, you can get in touch with us basically by sending a message. It's like a text message, email. It gets sent straight to the customer support team. And it's just a kind of a more convenient way. If you don't have time to be on the phone or on the website, you can just send us your query directly. That's on the bottom of the screen, again, where James said that help button. So do make use of it, and the team will do their best to get back to you within that day or the next day. Phone lines again, if you do need to get in touch, our phone lines are on the website. If you Google them, they're there, Irish and UK. So again, make use of those. Help articles is a huge one for helping yourselves at home. So they're packed with step-by-step guides tailored to each farm, type, and app solution, making it easy to learn how to complete tasks and get the most out of Herdwatch. So if you don't have time for a demo during the day with the team, you can go onto our website there again. On the left-hand side, that image, you can see where it says more, and you have a list of items there. The help articles is just a great way. When you get in, you'll see the screen on the right, or you can just simply type in help.herdwatch.com and it brings you to all of these articles. It's everything from like your EID readers, getting started, how to do certain tasks. Everything is inside there. They're updated quite frequently. So all the latest information and tutorials will be inside there. So don't forget, refer a friend is always going. So if you refer anyone and they create account, they don't even have to sign up and pay, just create account and basically sync the herd to get their animals in there. You can get €100 or £100 off your renewal. So it's a real easy way to save money every time you're renewing your Herdwatch account. So keep that in mind. Again, all that is on our website. So when you go into our website, you'll see the refer a friend section. All you have to do is fill out a form there and get in touch with the team. Let them know you have it done, and they will make sure that you're getting that money off your next renewal. Upcoming shows. So the team will be at the Royal Ulster Winter Fair on the 11th of December and Lama then the start of January. So we're kind of coming up to the quiet season, really. So thanks very much. Again, this webinar is recorded. It'll be emailed out probably with the newsletter at the end of the month, and it'll be available online as well. All the webinars there are on the website. Even if you want to go back over old webinars, they're available there on our website. So that brings us to the end of this webinar. Thanks very much for joining. Thank you, James, for hosting as well, and thank you for Dara there in the background for answering all the questions. So I think that is it, everybody. Hope you learned a lot from it. We'll be back with more webinars. If there's any webinar in particular you think we should run, again, get in touch with the team and they'll pass on that information to the marketing team. But until the next one, folks, thanks very much, and we will see you all soon. Thank you.
Right, everyone.